magic and explore the most. Stories full of wonder, fantastical delights. Open your eyes and see the parade come to life. Fancy's parade, Fancy's parade. Join the parade, Fancy's parade, parade. Fancy's parade, Fancy's parade. Join the parade, Fancy's parade.
Jupiter's reassurance. It's noisy outside, with all the construction going on. Trying your best to ignore it, you huddle deeper into the dirt surrounding you. You're in that perfect spot where you feel completely relaxed, at peace. They're probably working on the house. If they need you to move or leave, someone will come up and get you. Suddenly, you heard a loud thump from outside, followed by a wave of vibrations. It feels like a tree fell, bones shaking from the vibrations. Guess now is as good any to get up. Rolling onto your back, you stretch your arms out in front of you. Placing your hands on the ground, you pull yourself up, noticing that your body is less sore, and the hum of your soul has finally evened out. Bones rattling gently, you watch as the dirt falls from your sockets, reveling in the feeling of dirt dancing off your bones. Waiting for the last bit of sleep to leave you, you hear someone coughing from beside you. Glancing to the side, you see Mars leaning on one arm as he lies next to you. He stops coughing as he takes in your dirt cover form. He grimaces at the dirt falling from your sockets, watching the dirt filters off your bones and pores from your nasal cavity and jaw. It looks painful, but it was kind of hypnotic in a way. Raising your hand, you poke him in between his eye sockets before getting out of the ground completely. Dirt continues to fall from between your bones and clothes as you stand and stretch. "Hey, how was the dirt nap?" he asks from his place on the ground. "It was pretty nice, a well-deserved rest after yesterday." He tenses for a moment before relaxing again as he plops down on the soft ground below. Lightly chuckling, "Good one. Who knew a bedrock could be so comfy?" he teases, while wiggling into the ground, making himself comfortable. Walking to his side, you lean over him to sign. "Granite, that was a bit rocky. I know you can do better than that." The soft rattle from your bones causing some dirt and dust to fall. I thought it was pretty solid. Guess I'll have to try a grain," he says with a proud smirk. "If you had highlights, you'd be rolling them." "I think you're getting bolder with these puns. Keep this up and Papyrus will ignious." Laughing, Mars pulls you down until you're sitting again, bringing you closer to him as he carefully wraps his body around you. "That was so bad," he says between laughs. "Wow, talk about a tough crowd. Guess the pressure is on now." Before Mars can speak, a loud voice from downstairs cuts him off. "Brothers, YN. Breakfast is ready for your consumption." "Naya hey hey," yells Jupiter's joyous voice, shocking both of you out of your punny moment. You try to get up, but Mars tightens his grip and snuggles closer. "Come on, numbskull, breakfast is waiting for ya." He mumbles something under his breath that you can't hear. Shaking him again, you know Jupiter will come and break the door down. You tease knowingly. He continues mumbling into your lap, refusing to get up. Wiggling in his hold, you sign, "Come on, princess, do you want me to carry you? Do you need me to feed ya too?" You tease, a navy blush spreading across his cheeks. He gently pushes your skull away from his before getting up, grumbling about you being a tease as he does so. Extending his hand for you to take, "You coming?" Standing up on your own so he doesn't just teleport you to the kitchen, "Not yet. I want to get cleaned up and change clothes before heading down." He seemed a bit disappointed when you didn't take his hand, but his expression quickly shifts to one of understanding. He nods his head with a brief "see ya" before leaving through the door. Once he left, you stripped off your clothes and put them in your bag for now. Bringing out some new clothes and a can of magia, you place them on the neatly made bed. You still felt a bit bad about them spending so much on you when it could have gone to fixing up their house and buying groceries. Picking up the can of magia, you spray off all the dirt, dust, and debris from your bones. After removing the dirt, you put on a flowy blue dress and give it a little twirl. The bottom of the dress flares up to twirl around your knees, before gently floating back down. It's the main reason you wanted it, and they were happy to buy it for you. Making your way downstairs, you head for the kitchen where Jupiter, Mars, and Dust are eating at the table. Looks like they're having bacon and eggs with toast. As you enter the kitchen, Dust glares at you before taking his plate and teleporting away. Dust! Ember yells after his brother. You stare blankly at where Dust was and look towards Ember for answers. I.M.S. Sorry. He quickly apologizes before going after his brother. You stare in the direction where they once were, with confusion and concern until Mars brings you out of your thoughts. Don't worry about him, he's just being moody. Mars says, stabbing his eggs. My brother is right, he does have a tendency to get moody sometimes. Jupiter explains, trying to comfort you. Nodding your head, you move to sit down. Maybe he's mad because I asked him not to kill the others? You think to yourself, slightly hoping that Ember would hear and answer your question. He didn't. Sitting across from Mars, you sign, so what was that noise outside? Were you working on the house? You ask Jupiter. Mars looks a little confused. You suppose he didn't hear any of the noise from this morning? He really is a heavy sleeper. Jupiter quickly swallows his food. I was outside attending to my duties. He says nervously, not really looking at you or Mars. Mars stares at him for a moment but doesn't say anything as he goes back to eating. Duties? You ask with a tilt of your head, your question triggering Jupiter to eat faster. After he devoured his food, he gathers up his plate and heads for the sink. Yes, my outdoor duties. I'll need to have it finished before work. He finishes cleaning and rinsing off his plate before placing it into the drying rack. Well, I'll be off now. He yells slightly louder than normal as he runs out of the house. You and Mars share a look, both equally confused as to what just happened. Mars looks away first and continues eating, but you can see that he's still concerned about his brother's strange behavior. So, deciding to change the subject for now, do you want to help me pick out stuff for my room? You mean shopping? He asks with a hint of nervousness. Well, we don't have to. I was thinking of looking through those interior design mags. Papyrus has to get an idea of what I want my room to be. Since it uses magic to create my ideal room, no shopping is necessary. You explain, hoping he didn't catch your slight slip up. Some of the tension leaves his body as he nods his head. Sure, kid. He gets up and dumps his plate in the sink, before following you into the living room. You collect a couple of magazines that you are interested in before plopping down on the couch. Mars plops down next to you, placing his feet in your lap with a mischievous smirk on his face. Again, if you had highlights you'd be rolling them right now. Getting comfy, you start flipping through the magazines. Hey Ember, do you want to help me pick out furniture for my room? There's no reply. Feeling a little bummed that Ember isn't here, you continue looking through the magazines. Outside, you hear metal and chains clanking together. Finding something you like, you turn to ask Mars for his opinion, but he's sound asleep. So, you throw the magazine at him and it lands square on his face, cutting off a faint snore. He slowly pulls the magazine away from his face with a poor attempt at a glare. What do you think of this desk? You show him a black Victorian desk with an intricate design. He stares at the picture for a bit, looks complicated. He mumbles. Moving his legs off your lap, you crawl on top of him. Wiggling a bit, you lay with your back on his chest so you can look at the magazines together. Missing his blush, what's so complicated about it? You ask, looking at the picture of the desk. He clears his magical throat, the design. Thinking for a bit, you show him another page with a medieval design for a desk and bookshelf. He vetoes this one too, claiming it's complicated and too dark. This is a bit depressing, don't you have anything happier? Pouting, you show him some of the wicker furniture that had caught your eye socket. He seems to approve of these more but questions the comfort value of them. As you keep skimming through the pages, you realized Mars wasn't very helpful. He often makes puns or poke your cheekbones and ribs. Occasionally he'll fall asleep, making you, gently, slap or shake him awake. You want your room to have natural colors, wicker furniture and a gothic aesthetic. Mars seems to want a simple, homey and rustic aesthetic, with comfy being the top priority. He keeps recommending a big beanbag chair and keeping the starry sky, while rejecting any design that seems too depressing or spooky, in fear that Jupiter might not take it well. He constantly reminds you that the bed should be large enough to fit Jupiter. Meanwhile, Jupiter is constantly running in and out of the house, always leaving empty-handed but coming back with wires, bear traps, planks of wood, chains, and nets. You try your best to ignore him for now. Am I making this room for me or for you guys? You sass as he vetoes a bed with metal flames as the headboard. Mars doesn't say anything in reply, he just mumbles something under his breath while he nuzzles into your neck. Huffing, you lean back into his embrace with your head resting on his. You continue looking through the pages with a pouty Mars, as you compromise on modern Gothic furniture. Finally, picking out a few pieces of furniture that meets both of your requirements. With an image of your room in mind, you close the magazine and move to set them on the table. Almost dropping them when Jupiter bursts through the back door, arms filled with wooden planks and chains. The sound was loud enough to wake Mars. Hey Jupiter, need any help? You feel Mars tense as he moves to sit up to get a better look at you and his brother. Once his eyelight lands on Jupiter, he seems confused as to what his brother has been doing all day. No. Jupiter yells suddenly before catching himself and lowering his volume. I mean no thank you, I have everything under control. Ah, you sure? Of course, I'm sure, in fact, I'm almost done. Now if you'll excuse me, I must hurry, so I can be ready for work. He quickly runs up the stairs, not even looking back to see if you responded. You and Ma share another look, looking very concerned for his brother. Is he okay? Memories of your conversation with Ember replaying in your skull. The''re.in hoc. Yes.th they see. Could use s some.reasu.reance. That you're okay. Yeah, he's probably working on some puzzles. He says despite not fully believing it himself. Standing up, you stretch a bit before signing to Mars. Wanna watch me create our room? You sign in a teasing manner with your hand outstretched for him to take it. Mars stares at you a bit, his navy blue blush slowly encompassing his face. Looking away, he ducks into his jacket as he grabs your hand. Pulling him off of the couch, you head upstairs to your room. Approaching your room, the door is closed. Dropping Mars' hand, you place your other hand on the door. Focusing your magic on the door, you start to imagine what you want your room to look like, taking into consideration Mars' opinion. Your magic flows through you and into the door, feeling the door shift as it takes on its new form. Once the door settles beneath your bony hand, your magic stops flowing into the door and your vision returns. Looking at your door, it's the same design as the skeleton's door, blending in perfectly with their house rather than standing out like a sore thumb. Turning to Mars, you sign, well, let's check it out. You open your door to reveal your new room. Entering your room, the wall is a cool bluish-gray color. Along the walls hang French Iron Dragon medieval castle sconces, which are lit with magical fire. The magical fire acting as regular lights that can be turned on/off at the flick of a switch. The candlelight keeps the room lit enough to not hurt the average person's eye, but dark enough, so you don't need to wear your sunglasses. Across from the door is a window which overlooks the front yard. It's framed with thin blue curtain. The light shining through the curtains cast a sparkly blue glow around the room. Underneath the window is a black wicker trunk. To the right of the window sits a silver wicker hanging egg chair, and to the left is a king-sized bed. It's big enough to comfortably fit 3 Jupiters. The bed has a black wicker frame with a canopy. From the canopy hangs a black veil, which drapes around the bed. At the foot of the bed is a TV on a slick black cabinet that holds various video games and a game console. Between the bed and the TV rests a giant blue beanbag chair per Ma's request. It's big enough to comfortably fit 2 adults. On the right side of the room across from the TV, is a silver dresser. A silver desk is on the far right wall, and beside it is a black coffin bookshelf. The floor is a soft, plush, silver glow light grass, and the ceiling is still the ever-beautiful starry sky. No matter how bright the room may get, the stars above will always be visible. Mars lets out a low whistle as he takes in Your Room, admiring various aspects of Your Room. His eyelight lingers on the stars and grass, and you notice the fond smile at the sight of the large bed and the beanbag chair. He gives you a smug smile before flopping onto the beanbag. Crossing your arms, you look away from him, inspect the rest of your room. After you finish inspecting your room and making sure there aren't any problems, you walk over to Mars and sit beside him. He cracks one socket open to look at you. So, how do you like the room? Not really the question you wanted to ask, but it's a good icebreaker. He lazily looks round the room again. It's nice. To be honest, I didn't expect this. He lazily gestures to the room to be your style, but it's nice. It suits you. Hey, very mystical. Your bones rattle, feeling happy that he liked the room. It does have a bit of your old home's touch, especially the grass. It was found in one of your favorite places in the Skeleton Kingdom. Loud stomping comes up the stairs, followed shortly by door slamming. Refocusing on the task at hand, you stand up and brush off your dress. Thanks, I'm glad you like it. Who knows how often he'll actually be here through. You can wait here if you want. I'm going to see if I can go to work with Jupiter. Before you could touch the doorknob, Mars has an arm wrapped around your lower ribs and the other is pressed against the door. Yup, they're definitely acting weird. You're not going outside, he states, his breath brushing against your ear hole. Turning around to face him, why not? You have a hunch as to why he seems twitchy about you going outside. Not safe, he says, eyelight slowly going out of focus until you boop his nose ridge with your own. The sudden action bringing him back. I'll be fine, and I'll be with Jupiter. Mars still seems a bit reluctant to let you go. Mars, we both know that Jupiter has been acting strange lately. It's quite between the two of you. It just feels like he's been avoiding me since the incident. Mars twitches, a low growl escaping him at the mention of the incident. I think we need a private talk, just me and him. This won't be like last time. I'm awake and alert, and Jupiter will be there as well. Mars still seems a bit reluctant. Please, I can always call you or Dust if anything goes wrong. You plead, giving him your best puppy eye socket. Finally, he relents with a heavy sigh. Fine, you can go, but you better call if something goes wrong. You give him a quick hug and sign a quick thank you before leaving room to catch up to Jupiter. Mars walks back to the beanbag chair, plopping down and sinking further into the beanbag, letting his hands drag across his face. Wait, cool? Mars says out loud, finally registering what you just said. He quickly teleports to Jupiter's room to find no one. Teleporting to the living room, he looks around for either you or Jupiter but finds no one. Running downstairs, Jupiter is nowhere to be found. Heading toward the back door, you see Jupiter in his mystic skeleton form already on his way to work. Opening the door, you run after him, making as much noise with your feet and bag as you can. Jupiter turns round as you approach with immediate fear in his eye sockets. YN. What are you doing outside? I'm going to work with you. Don't worry, the others already know. Well, Mars knows. Jupiter nervously glances around the area as he weighs his options. With a heavy sigh, fine, you may come with me to work. Yes. Let's go. You cheer as you grab his hand and start walking in a random direction. Jupiter releases a nervous chuckle before redirecting your path, while still allowing you to lead the way. Jupiter was very attentive of you, moving branches out of your way and lifting you over bushes. You appreciate the concern, but you aren't made of glass, and even glass can be hard to break. Stretching your arms above your head, you prepare yourself for the talk with Jupiter. It would be for the best to talk now rather than while he's working. You start signing to him, but he isn't looking at you. Instead, his attention is on his surroundings. You can tell his guard is up. He's paying attention to every noise and movement from within the forest. Bones sagging, you stretch your fingers, before tugging on his white hoodie to get his attention. He jerks a little at the sudden contact but relaxes when he sees it's you. Tap. Jupiter's head snapped in a direction, his sockets squinting as he slowly moves closer to you. You look in the same direction, but you don't see anything. Probably due to the height difference and where you're standing. However, you do feel as though someone is staring at you. Suddenly, you're being carried bridal style as Jupiter runs through the forest. Ducking under trees, leaping over bushes and taking multiple twists and turns, he maneuvers throughout the forest. Bouncing slightly in his hold, you feel like you're on a carnival ride. It's keeping you safely in the ride, but you're still being shaken about, and most importantly, always keep your arms and legs inside the ride. So, you curl in on yourself, enough to hide in Jupiter's chest, but stretched enough so he can comfortably hold you without fear of dropping you. Tilting your head back, you look to see who is following you. It's the tall skeleton from yesterday. You can't really see him since he keeps teleporting within the treetops. Your bones rattle in aggravation, causing Jupiter to grip you tighter as he speeds up. If you're going to stalk someone, then don't get caught. And if you do get caught, at least have the decency to reveal yourself or leave. We know you're there, so why are you still following us? As you rant to yourself about the sudden annoyance that's ruining your chance to talk to Jupiter, you reach into your bag for one of your phase fruits. You only have a few left and would rather not use it right now. There are other options, but you don't want Jupiter to freak out when you both suddenly turn invisible. Besides, you don't know for sure what's wrong with Jupiter, so it's better to play it safe until you talk to him. His grip tightens around you once more, bringing you out of your thoughts. Looking around as best you can, your sockets freeze on the cliff in front of you. The cliff is approaching. Jupiter isn't stopping. Gripping Jupiter and curling further into him, your eye sockets stay locked on the cliff ahead. He doesn't stop. Reaching the edge of the cliff, he pushes and jumps off. As you soar through the air, he curls his body around you as if doing a cannonball. You feel a shift in momentum as you plummet to the ground. Narrowly missing tree branches as you approach the ground. Once you're about 7 feet from the ground, Jupiter uncurls, extending one leg in front of him. He hit the ground running as he continues to maneuver around the forest. Your magic is thumping loudly in your bones. The adrenaline causing a rush of excitement to course through your bone. You're vaguely concerned about Jupiter's ankles and knee, but since he's still running, you assume he's fine. Taking a chance, you look back, paying close attention to the trees above you, but no one's there. Continuing to observe the area behind you for any signs of the tall skeleton, only to come up empty-handed. Jupiter slows down and you assume you aren't being followed anymore, that or he's tired. Not that you can blame him. Slowing down to a brisk walk, his long legs quickly cross the forest. Patting his chest, you wait for him to look at you before signing, "I'm fine, Pap, you can put me down now." He flinches for a second before continuing to walk at a slower pace. He doesn't say anything. "I can walk perfectly fine on my own, you know." "I know," he says in a quiet voice, looking a little dejected as he comes to a stop. It looks like he's battling with himself on whether he should continue holding you or to put you down. "I must be heavy for you, and you're probably tired." You try to express that your desire to walk has nothing to do with him personally, you just don't want to be a burden. Useless. His shoulders sag as a small smile graces his teeth, not really since he's a mystic skeleton, but you can feel it. Worry not, YN. For you are actually quite light. He reassures. You know you're light, skeletons typically aren't that heavy after all. However, it doesn't stop the pout from seeping into your aura. Jupiter chuckles softly at your pouting aura, slightly easing his grip on you. There is an awkward silence between the two of you as you approach a giant beech tree. In the middle of the tree is a wooden treehouse, the branches spread out to perfectly cup the house nestled in the middle. The treehouse has a wraparound deck with two methods for getting up there. One is by taking the stairs off to the side and the other is by taking the rope ladder in front of the door. Jupiter, who refuses to put you down despite the awkwardness, takes the stairs up to the deck. The stairs lead to the side of the build instead of the front. Still carrying you, he walks around to the front, while you stare in awe at the exterior of the building. There are various potted plants positioned around the deck, most of which are non-magical plants, but there are a few magical plants spread about. Night crawlers are growing on the walls, not enough to cover it completely, just enough to decorate it. You can't see much of the roof, but it looks like there are some sun blooms growing on it. They should be open since it's early in the afternoon. Your thoughts are interrupted as Jupiter gently places you on your feet with a concerned expression. Sorry, I was too busy admiring the place. You explain with a nervous rattle. Do you work here? You ask even though you're positive the answer is yes. Nodding his head, he turns to give the place a once-over. Yes, I work here as a garden attendant. Isn't this place magnificent? He asks with pride in his voice. It's great. Not as great as you, but it seems like a fun place to work. His aura drops a bit before he quickly catches it. Of course. Now come. We can't boondoggle all day. He marches to the door, opening it wide, and he proceeds to get tackled by a green blur. Landing inches from your feet, Jupiter is being licked by a puppy-sized Venus flytrap. The mystical plant licking his skeletal face as he tries to push the plant off him. Carney. What are you doing? A soft and sweet voice yells from within the building. The owner of the voice soon stands in the doorway. Carney. Get off of. Oh hey Jupiter. She says with a friendly wave. How've you been? She asks, looking down at the still struggling skeleton with a smile on her face and hands on her hips. She an inch or two taller than you, with brown skin and slightly darker freckles sprinkled across her face. She is curvy and her body looks soft and blushy. Her black hair is styled in twists that come down to her shoulder. Woven within her hair are purple and pink wisteria flowers. Whether they're just woven in or grown from her head you're unsure. Her clothes consist of a white long-sleeve form-fitting sweater with black skinny pants, not leggings but also not jeans. Over her sweater is a thin loose-fitted dark green shirt, with a triangle cut out starting from just below her bosom and goes down to her hips, creating a longer tail in the back. She has white and grey knee-high boots with a slight heel, and on her forearms are brown leather arm guards. Hanging loosely around her hips is a thin decorative chain with different-sized pouches hanging from them. I've been well, but I would appreciate it if you could remove this plant from me. Jupiter pleads as he tries to avoid getting plant slobber in his mouth. You. Laughing, all right, playtime's over, come on. She scopes down and picks up the plant. Tucking the plant under her arm, sorry about that, come on, let's get you cleaned up. She holds the door open for you and Jupiter as she keeps a firm hold on Carney. Inside the building looks like a cafe, a couple of tables with some chairs. Overall the room has a peaceful nature feel. In the back of the room is a service desk. On the left side of the room is a door. Behind the desk there are two doors side by side, and to the right are the bathrooms. I thought you were working at a greenhouse? You ask, slightly confused as to why you walked into a cafe. I am. He is. They say at the same time. By the way, Who are you? She pauses, not so you can speak but to think. I don't think I hired another skeleton. She says in a quiet whisper, one hand on her chin in thought. Waving your hands in a dismissal you sign, no, you didn't hire me. I came here with Jupiter. I wanted to see where he worked. I hope that's okay. You ask, feeling a bit like you're intruding. Now it's her time to dismiss your worries. It's fine. Jupiter, go to the bathroom, get cleaned up, before you start to stink. She says with a chuckle. As she heads for the door on the left. Looking in your direction, you can sit down at any table, I'll bring you some tea. She pauses mid-steps. Wait, can you eat food? She asks with playful suspicion in her voice. Shaking your head, no, you sign. My name is YN, by the way. It's nice to meet you. Oh. She quickly turns around while she continues to walk backwards toward the kitchen. Nice to meet you. My name is Calendula, she says in a cheery voice before disappearing into the supposed kitchen. You're not sure why she still went in there when you told her you can't eat, but maybe she just wants some tea for herself. You sit down at a random table, suddenly realizing that you're all alone with nothing to do. Resting your skull in your hands as you lean on the table, you feel mildly annoyed at the tall skelly. He ruined your chance to talk to Jupiter, and now you're going to have to wait until he gets off from work to talk to him. Your bones rattle before slumping dejectedly. Suddenly, Calendula is beside you. What's wrong, Punchinella? She asks in a musical voice as she takes the seat across from you, completely ignoring just how much she scared you. Taking a moment to calm down. Nothing. I thought you were getting tea? I was, but then I started thinking about stuff, and I have to do things, and I wasn't sure what to make anyway. Plus, Jupiter might want some, and now isn't not a time for tea. For him. He needs to start working after all. And I can't have tea because I still need to train him. She looks off towards the ceiling in contemplation. Staring at her, you try and comprehend all that she told you. She wasn't talking fast, but the way she talked seems so random despite making sense. As you stare at her, you notice that her familiar isn't here. Where's your familiar? Kani, was it? You ask, with a tilt of your head. She slams her hands on the table as she turns to look at you in shock. I left Kani in the kitchen. She yells, causing you to flinch slightly before rattling in amusement. Oh no, there are clowns in the kitchen. Jupiter yells in dismay as he exits the bathroom. Both you and Calendula look at Jupiter with a blank expression. What? No, Kani's in the kitchen. She states simply with confusion. I know. Canis, they're probably making a mess in there with their lowbrow jokes and japes. Jupiter says as he shudders. Calendula is vibrating as she tries to hold in her laughter. PFT. The sound of a pot falling and clanking against the floor could be heard from the kitchen. Why yeah, definitely making a mess. She manages to squeeze out between pursed lips and puffed cheeks as she continues to hold back her laughter. Jupiter, she means Kani, the plant that tackled you earlier, not a bunch of clowns. Oh. Well, why didn't you say so? Withheld laughter intensifies. Why don't apostrophe T. You go to the back. And get you garden gear on. Very well, then I will leave that dastardly plant in your care. He says before quickly walking through the left door behind the service desk. She turns and looks at you while letting a couple of chuckles escape. I'm going to get Kani, be right back. You are once again left in the still unexplained cafe of this supposed greenhouse. Stretching in order to calm your nerves a bit, you hear yelling coming from the kitchen. Staring at the rowdy kitchen, wondering if you should help her or not. She kicks open the door looking very angry, which you didn't think she was capable of, and Kani looks like they're trying to make themselves as small as possible. She enters the door on the right behind the service desk before quickly reappearing with no Kani in sight. She sits down across from you with a huff. So what's wrong? She asks like whatever just happened, didn't just happen. Did something happen between you and Jupiter? She asks with a tilt of her head. You didn't think that your emotions were showing so clearly on your skull or aura. In fact, you didn't think they had time to surface with how random things have been since you've arrived. Regardless, you nod your head. She makes a noise of understanding. Do you want to talk about it? Maybe get a new perspective on the situation? She asks with a cheerful yet reassuring expression. You feel like you could talk to her, yet you also feel like she might not understand. On the other hand, she's Jupiter's boss. Should you even be discussing private matters to her? You look in her direction and she's looking at the ceiling, obviously thinking about other things. Tapping on the table to get her attention, you start signing. Well, yesterday, I was attacked by a couple of other skeleton monsters. Oh, he's a skeleton monster, by the way. But I almost died, and I think it freaked them out a bit. You vaguely explain. Nodding her head, she hums in understanding. I have no idea what you just said. She simply states, shocking you. Yeah, I don't know sign language. Your jaw literally drops, causing her to laugh. Well, if it makes you feel better, I had a feeling Jupiter was a monster since he can eat food, and I'm assuming you're a mystic skeleton then. You're too shocked to answer her. She puckers her lips as she looks around the cafe area of her store. Oh, okay. Well, I'm a nature sorcerer. My specialty lies with plants. She continues to look around. I'm going to go get Jupiter so you guys can go ahead and talk. She quickly gets up and leaves to get Jupiter while you remain seated in shock. She claims to not be able to understand you, yet she seems to have understood you perfectly. Maybe? You didn't get long to ponder that thought as Jupiter was shoved out of the left door. But I just go here. I can't possibly go on a break now. He tries to reason with his boss, but she just smiles at him from behind the door. Go ahead and take your legally government-mandated break, she says cheerfully. I'll come get you when I have some work for you to do. She trails off as she disappears somewhere behind the door. He awkwardly turns around until he's facing you, but he isn't looking at you. I suppose I'm on break. Nodding your head, you decide to go ahead and get this conversation over with. Who knows how long a random legally government-mandated break will last. Patting the area adjacent to you, signaling for him to sit down. He looks around the room nervously before sighing and moving to sit beside you. Papyrus, I know yesterday was hectic, but what's wrong? You ask cautiously. His expression or aura twists into one of confliction, sadness, anger, and contemplation. Like, he's trying to figure out if he should lie or tell you the truth. You've been rather distant, Papyrus. And awfully nervous and fidgety lately. I may not have known you long, but I know this is not how you are. You explain, hoping to encourage the truth out of him. You are right. He says with a loud sigh. I suppose I should extend my honesty police to you as well. He closes his eye sockets as he steadies himself. I'm sorry for what I put you through yesterday, he says, voice wavering. Sorry for saving me? You ask, highly confused, a little bit of sadness seeping into your soul. He looks at you in shock before quickly waving his arms in dismissal. No. No, of course not. I'm sorry for almost killing you, he says in a panic state. What? You ask with obvious confusion. You remember two skeletons attacking you and you're pretty sure you would have noticed if Jupiter was attacking you. Jupiter immediately looks nervous and guilty. Why your skull? You touch your skull, silently asking my skull? When you were running away from Black and Mutt, you accidentally stepped on one of my traps. It caused the trunk of a tree to come down and, it was the attack that decapitated your skull. He explains while avoiding your gaze, but still keeps your hands in his view. Oh, so it was a trap that knocked your skull off. Realizing something you sign, this morning. Were you destroying your traps? He visually flinches before nodding his head. Yes, I didn't want you to get hurt because my traps. You wish you could comfort or hold his hand, But you can't since you need them to sign to him. Once again, them not having telepathy is very inconvenient. Jupiter, it's okay. I will admit that some of your puzzles are very dangerous and deadly. He winces at the statement. He doesn't seem surprised, just regretful that it hurt someone he cares about. But I can solve them. I solved the puzzles you showed me a couple of days ago. When I was running away from them, I purposely ran towards the traps and puzzles in an attempt to get them caught in it. Out of the tons of traps I've avoided, I only got caught by one. You try to reassure? But he wasn't. It only takes one. He says somberly. It's quite between the two of you. Okay. I forgive you for your trap and I don't hold it against you. I still want to be your friend and you will always be the great Papyrus, to me. He starts to tear up as he glances from your hand to your face. Really? He asks in a quiet voice. With a reassuring aura, yes, really. And I still want you to make puzzles. You state firmly. If it makes you feel better, then we can work together to make your puzzles safer, or maybe have warning signs indicating where dangerous puzzles are. He still looks a little nervous at the thought but also excited. Are you sure IT's okay? I mean, IT seems like a wonderful idea, but... Yes, I'm sure. You love doing puzzles and I enjoyed making them and solving them with you. Continue making puzzles you're happy and comfortable with. And if you're worried about it being too dangerous, then you can always run it by me. Okay? Tears flow down his cheekbones as he quickly scopes you up, pulling you into his lap. Nuzzling the top of your head, he mumbles mixtures of thanks and apologizes. Rubbing his back reassuringly as you nuzzle him. Trying your best to comfort him without words. After a while, Jupiter calms down and you wiped his tears away, glad that one problem was solved today. You should go get your boss, you've been on break for quite a while. You tease. Seeming to realize where he is, he quickly jumps from his chair with you in his arms. You're right, there is much work to be done. Oh, are you guys done talking? She asks, peeking out from around the kitchen door, cookie in mouth. Yes, we are. He gently puts you back down in a chair. Thank you for giving us a moment to talk. He says with sincerity in his voice. No problem. She says with a bright smile. So you're ready to get down to work? Jupiter stands straight as he salutes his boss. Yes, ma'am. Great. Also, I'm a mystic and I'd love it if you could work the mystic side of the shop as well. She explained excitedly, conveniently leaving out the part of her falling under the mage subspecies. Not that you blame her, but isn't she supposed to be on lockdown? Watching Jupiter's reaction, his eyes protrude out of his sockets. Thoroughly freaking you out, causing you fall out of your chair. Yn. Are you okay? Scrambling to your feet before he can reach you. Making large gesture that probably don't make sense in your shocked state. You've been accepting of a lot of their weird behavior. But eyeballs. They can blush, eat, breath, but eyeballs. Eyeballs. How do they even have eyeballs? Where do they keep them? Does the senses have eyeballs too? You silently stare at Jupiter while your aura release waves of suspicion, making Jupiter nervous as he shifts from foot to foot. Calendula looks from Jupiter to you and then back to Jupiter with a nonchalant expression. I think she's freaking out because ya got eyeballs. You gesture largely to her, confirming her guess. Calendula looks between you two again. I think the answer is magic. Hey, maybe you can do it too? You stare at her in horror at the notion. Laughing. Now I want to put googly eyes on you. The sun is setting as you and Jupiter make your way back home. Neither of you are talking, but the air between you two isn't awkward. It's a peaceful and comfortable silence now. Lost in thought, you think back about your time at Sprouts, the name of Calendula's greenhouse. The front is a little cafe because she just likes feeding people on occasion. Or more like she likes to cook and brew tea and finds it rude to eat in front of others without offering them some. The two doors behind the service desk leads to the greenhouses. The one on the left connects to the non-magical plants while the one on the right connects to magical or mystic plants. Now that Jupiter knows that Calendula is a mystic, he's allowed to work in all parts of the greenhouse. She sells plants, fruits and veggies, seeds, teas, nectar, wine, grape juice, and occasionally essential oils. Jupiter seems really excited about learning about magical plants and growing a magical garden. Looks like he's picked up a new hobby. Meanwhile, you picked up a new quest. As it turns out, under her treehouse is a small mushroom garden growing both magical and non-magical mushrooms. You're surprised you didn't notice, but apparently no one ever notices the first time round. But she wants you to find a list of mushrooms. Hopefully you'll be able to find them near the mountain, if not you'll have to travel again. Maybe you can get Mars to join you. He needs an introduction to being a merchant, even if he isn't going to be a traveling merchant. Arriving at the house, Mars is waiting outside for you guys. Waving, you run up to him and give him a hug. Jupiter follows suit and wraps you both in a bone-crushing hug before setting you both down and heading to the kitchen. Mars gives you a fond smile as you follow after Jupiter. He seems happy that everything worked out and that you're okay. Glad everything worked out. Me too. Feeling tired, even though you barely walked, and knowing you have a long day ahead of you tomorrow, you decide to turn in early. Bidding Mars and Jupiter good night, you head upstairs to your room. Upon opening the door, things seem off. Your bed looks somewhat messy, for a bed that shouldn't have been used yet. There's a subtle scent and static of familiar magic in the air. Feels like someone was in your room while you were gone. You'll worry about that tomorrow. For now, it's time for bed.
I'm glad you enjoyed that video/gameplay. Just remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Until next time, goodbye!